The world will betray you. Life will test you. Pain will come uninvited. But if you master these 7 Stoic truths, nothing can break you. 1. The ancient superpower that can change your life. Did you know the secret to overcoming life's toughest moments may have been discovered over 2,000 years ago? Imagine this. You're facing a crisis. Maybe it's a failed project, a broken relationship, or just the everyday stress that grinds you down. But instead of being overwhelmed, you feel calm, grounded, unshakable, almost like you have a superpower. Well, that's not fantasy. It's not some new self-help fad either. It's Stoicism, an ancient philosophy that might just be the most relevant tool we have for thriving in a world full of uncertainty. Stoicism began in the streets of ancient Greece and the courts of imperial Rome, but its real power, it's timeless. It teaches us one profound truth. You may not control what happens in your life, but you absolutely control how you respond. In an era where chaos is one tweet, text, or headline away, that kind of clarity is everything. And here's the twist: most people miss Stoicism isn't about shutting down your emotions. It's not about becoming cold or detached. It's about becoming stronger, more centered, and more resilient by truly understanding your emotions and choosing your responses with intention. So whether you're struggling with anxiety, trying to navigate a breakup, facing uncertainty in your career, or just tired of feeling like you're at the mercy of the world around you, what we're about to explore together could be the lifeline you've been searching for. Stoicism is about action, not just theory. It's about living a life of purpose, peace, and power, no matter the storms around you. So stick with me. Don't skip around. Every second of this journey is designed to guide you toward that inner peace, that quiet strength you've always known was possible. Let's begin with a familiar scene. You're stuck in traffic. Horns are blaring. You're late for something important. You feel that tension in your chest, that heat rising up in your neck. Sound familiar? Or maybe you're scrolling through your phone and see a nasty comment. Suddenly, your good mood vanishes. It's gone just like that. Here's what's wild. These moments happen to everyone. But they're not just annoyances, they're tests. Daily, relentless tests of our mood, our self-control, and our peace of mind. And here's where Stoicism hands us the key. Epictetus, a Stoic philosopher born into slavery who rose to become one of the most influential teachers in history, once said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Read that again. You can't change the traffic. You can't stop people from leaving rude comments. But what you can do, what you must do, is learn to change your response. Even Carl Jung, the father of analytical psychology, echoed this same principle thousands of years later when he said, "I am not what happened to me. I am what I choose to become." And that's exactly the point. Stoicism teaches us that our power isn't in controlling the world, it's in mastering our reactions, our mindset, our choices. Let's break that down. You're sitting in traffic. You're going to be late. You can either stew in anger, curse under your breath, and ruin your entire day. Or you can pause, you can breathe, you can put on your favorite podcast, listen to music. Use the time to reflect or recharge. The cars haven't moved. The situation hasn't changed, but you have. And in that shift, in that moment where you choose calm over chaos, you reclaim your power. That's Stoicism in action. And this applies far beyond traffic jams. It applies when someone criticizes you unfairly, when your plans fall apart, when life hits you with something completely unexpected. It's about zooming out and asking, is this within my control? If it's not, Let it go, if it is. Act with clarity, not panic. Marcus Aurelius, Roman emperor, philosopher, and one of the greatest Stoic minds, put it perfectly: you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. These aren't just quotes to feel good about. These are strategies to live by. So the next time something pushes your buttons, whether it's a traffic jam, a missed opportunity, or a rude remark, ask yourself, is this in my control? If not, how can I respond in a way that protects my peace? This daily practice, this discipline, isn't easy. But every time you choose your reaction with wisdom, you build strength. You become calmer, sharper, more powerful. And over time, you stop being someone who reacts to life and start becoming someone who responds with purpose. That's the Stoic path. That's the quiet revolution happening inside you, moment by moment. It's not about perfection. It's about progress. Every day. 2. Accept reality, even when it hurts. Let's be honest, life doesn't always go the way we want it to. Sometimes it's heartbreak. Sometimes it's failure. And sometimes it's just the slow, quiet ache of realizing that something you hoped for isn't going to happen. In those moments, it's tempting to ask, why me? Why now? Why this? But here's what Stoicism teaches: something hard, something uncomfortable, but something deeply freeing. Stop resisting reality. Start accepting it, because pain is real. Suffering is optional. Let's go back to Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher emperor who ruled the most powerful empire on earth, yet wrote about grief, loss, and disappointment in his private journal every day. He said, if you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it, and this you have the power to revoke at any moment. Let that sink in. He wasn't saying pretend nothing hurts. He wasn't saying don't feel sadness. He was saying don't fight the facts, accept them, then act. Because here's the truth: life doesn't care if something is fair. The universe doesn't apologize when your heart breaks. Reality just is. And the more you resist it, the more it hurts. Think about a time something didn't go your way. You didn't get the job. Someone walked away. Your plans collapsed. Now ask yourself, what caused the most suffering? The event itself? Or your refusal to accept it? The truth is, we don't just suffer from what happens. We suffer from our stories about what happens. It wasn't supposed to be this way. I can't believe this is happening. This shouldn't be happening to me. Those thoughts, they're where the suffering lives. So what does Stoicism say? Accept the world as it is, not as you wish it to be. That doesn't mean becoming passive. It doesn't mean giving up. It means beginning from a place of clarity, not fantasy. Epictetus put it like this: don't seek for things to happen the way you want them to. Rather, wish that what happens happen the way it happens. Then you will be happy. In modern terms, stop trying to rewrite the scene. Start acting in the one you're actually in. Let's take a real-world example. You fall in love. You give your best. You open your heart, but it ends. They leave, no warning. No closure. You can spend years haunted by the what-ifs, the should-haves, the if-onlys, but those are ghosts. They don't change anything. What does Stoicism say? It says, yes, feel the pain. Yes, mourn what's lost. But don't resist what is, because only from acceptance can healing begin. Only from reality can power return. Here's another one. You pour yourself into a dream, months of work, late nights, passion, and it fails. You could say, I was robbed. Or you could say, this is part of the path. That's not defeat. That's wisdom. It's not about giving in. It's about seeing clearly. Because as long as you're resisting reality, You're powerless to improve it. But once you accept it, even when it hurts, then you're grounded. Then you're ready to move forward with clarity, not confusion. Here's the paradox. The more you accept life's harshness, the softer your soul becomes. Not weaker, wiser. Not colder, calmer. You stop expecting life to be fair. You stop needing others to behave a certain way. You stop being shattered when life shifts. And instead, you meet life where it is, with grace, with courage, and with unshakable peace. So let me leave you with this. When something breaks, don't scream at the pieces, pick them up, accept what happened, and start building something new. That's stoicism, that's power, that's peace. 3. Be mindful of your thoughts. They shape your reality. Here's something that Stoics understood centuries before neuroscience caught up. Your thoughts create your world, not events, not people, not circumstances. Your thoughts, Epictetus said. At best, it's not things that upset us, but our judgments about things. And that's a radical idea, isn't it? It means that your suffering, your anxiety, your insecurity, they don't come from life itself. They come from how you think about life. Imagine this. 2 people lose their job on the same day. One thinks, this is the end. I'm worthless. No one will hire me again. The other thinks, this is painful, but maybe this is an opening. A reset. A chance to build something better. Same event. Different thoughts. Completely different lives. That's not optimism. That's power. Now let's be real. Your mind, if left unguarded, is a dangerous place that it replays mistakes. It invents worst-case scenarios. It whispers lies in your ear, like, you're not good enough. They're probably judging you. This always happens to you. And if you don't catch those thoughts, they become your truth. But Stoicism says, you are not your thoughts. You are the watcher of your thoughts. You can question them. You can change them. You can let them pass like clouds in a stormy sky. Think of your mind like a garden. If you don't tend it, weeds grow fast. But if you cultivate it, something beautiful emerges. Seneca wrote, we suffer more in imagination than in reality. So ask yourself, what if the fear you're feeling isn't real? What if the shame was just a memory you're clinging to? What if the story you keep telling yourself is the very thing holding you back? Let's go deeper. Let's say someone criticizes you. That stings, right? But Stoicism asks, does their comment define you? Or does your reaction to it define you? You get to choose. You could internalize it, spiral, doubt yourself, or you could say, that's their opinion. I'll examine it, take what's useful, and let go of the rest. That's mental discipline. That's self-respect. That's Stoicism. Another example, you make a mistake. You mess up. Badly. Most people, they let shame take over. They ruminate. They replay the scene 100 times. But a Stoic? A Stoic says, yes, I failed. Let me learn. Let me grow. Let me do better. They don't indulge in guilt. They don't drown in what can't be changed. They observe the thought. They apply reason. And then they move forward. Here's a practice. Next time your mind spins into fear or anger or shame, pause. Ask yourself, is this thought useful? Is it true? Does it serve the kind of person I want to become? If not, let it go. You're not obligated to believe everything you think. The Stoics weren't emotionless robots. They felt pain. They felt grief. But they didn't let thoughts rule their lives. They practiced the art of metanoia, changing the mind. Because here's the deepest truth. You can't always control what happens. But you can always control what you think about what happens. And in that control lies freedom. So guard your mind. nurture it, train it, because the quality of your thoughts becomes the quality of your life. 4. Resilience isn't about winning, it's about enduring. When you hear the word resilience, what comes to mind? Strength? Victory? Bouncing back fast? But to the Stoics, resilience wasn't about snapping back. It wasn't about always standing tall. It was about standing up one more time than you fall. Marcus Aurelius. In the midst of war, betrayal, and personal grief, if you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. And this you have the power to revoke at any moment. He didn't say, you must win. He said, you must endure. That's the Stoic version of resilience, not loud, not flashy, but unbreakable. Think of a mountain. Rain hits it. Winds lash it. The sun scorches it. But it remains still, rooted. That's what you are called to be, not the fastest, not the smartest, not the one who always wins, but the one who doesn't quit. Life will knock you down repeatedly. You'll be misunderstood, rejected, let down by people you trusted, broken open by grief, disappointment, and failure. But each time you'll have a choice: stay down or rise, not perfectly, but purposefully. That's endurance. Here's what most people get wrong. They think endurance means you feel nothing, that you push through like a machine. But no. Endurance means you feel everything, and you keep moving anyway. It's crying at night and still showing up the next morning. It's failing in front of everyone and choosing to try again. It's saying, this hurts, but it will not break me. Let's go deeper. You're exhausted. You've been trying for months, maybe years, and it feels like nothing's working. Most people would walk away. But a Stoic? They know this moment is the test. This is the battlefield where character is forged. Epictetus reminds us, difficulties show a person's character. So when trouble comes, think of yourself as a wrestler whom God has paired with a tough young opponent. He's not telling you to avoid pain. He's telling you, lean into it. Let it shape you. There's no growth without strain. No mastery without failure. No wisdom without wounds. So stop asking, why is this happening to me? And start asking, what is this teaching me? You don't have to be invincible. You just have to be consistent. 1 foot forward, 1 deep breath, 1 honest choice, even when it's hard. That's the Stoic path. That's how you build a life that can't be shaken by storms. Remember, endurance is quiet. It doesn't shout. It doesn't need to be seen. It just keeps going. And in a world obsessed with results, the one who endures is the one who outlasts everyone else. 5. You can't control events, but you can always choose your response. Let's be honest. Most people spend their lives trying to control the uncontrollable. They try to manage people's opinions, avoid every possible failure, prevent pain before it even arrives. But the Stoics knew that's a losing game. You can't control outcomes. You can't control what others do. You can't even control tomorrow. But you can control this moment. Your response. Epictetus put it simply. It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. That's the heart of Stoic strength. You don't get to pick the storm, but you do get to pick who you are in the storm. Imagine you're walking and someone insults you. Most people react instantly. They snap, defend, escalate, but a Stoic pauses. Don't suppress the emotion. They observe it. They choose their response, because reaction is instinct, but response is power. Marcus Aurelius, surrounded by betrayal and war, trained himself daily in this. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. He didn't say life would be easy. He sighed, your mind can be free, even when the world isn't. Here's the truth. Life will test you. People will lie to you. Plans will collapse. The world will feel unfair. You can scream at it. You can blame it. Or you can do the one thing that truly changes everything. You respond with clarity, with virtue, with discipline. Let's break this down. You don't control what others think, how people treat you, whether the economy crashes, if someone breaks your heart, but you do control whether you react or reflect, whether you panic or breathe, whether you act from ego or from principle. So the next time chaos hits, ask, what part of this is mine to control? Maybe it's just your breath. Maybe it's your tone. Maybe it's the story you tell yourself about what's happening. That's enough, because even a tiny, conscious response breaks the cycle of chaos. People forget. Control isn't about forcing life to obey, it's about mastering your inner world. No matter what life throws at you. That's what made the Stoics unshakable. Not because they could stop bad things, but because bad things couldn't stop them. So when life feels out of control, don't reach outward. Reach inward. That's where your power is. That's where your freedom lies. Not in perfect circumstances, but in perfect self-command. And that changes everything. 6. Less desire, more direction. Modern life tells you this. Want more, be more, chase more money, more validation, more attention, more everything. But here's the paradox the Stoics understood. The more you desire, the less free you become. Desire is a subtle prison. You think you're in control, but really, you're being led by envy, led by fear of missing out, led by the endless hunger for something else, something better. And in that chase, you lose yourself. Epictetus warned, freedom is not achieved by satisfying desire, but by eliminating it. Let that sink in. He's not telling you to be empty. He's telling you to want better things, and want them less often. There's a massive difference between desire and direction. Desire says, I want that because others have it. I want it because it'll make me look powerful. I want it because I'll feel good for a while. But direction says, this matters. This is aligned with my values. This is worth the effort. Direction is stillness with a purpose. Desire is movement without meaning. Here's what happens when you let desire lead. You start chasing applause instead of meaning. You trade your time for status. You compare your life to everyone else's highlight reel. And when you finally get what you wanted, it doesn't satisfy, not really. Because it was never about the thing. It was about the feeling. And feelings fade. So what do the Stoics recommend? Want less, want wisely. Ask yourself, is this desire rooted in ego or in virtue? Will this move me closer to the kind of person I respect? If I lost this tomorrow, would I still feel grounded? If the answer is no, maybe it was never yours to want in the first place. Marcus Aurelius lived in a palace, but he wrote like a monk. Very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking. That's Stoicism, not rejecting ambition, but purifying it, sharpening it into something clean, noble, unshakable. So here's your challenge. Trade urgency for intention. Trade wanting for wisdom. Trade chasing for choosing. You don't need more. You need less noise and more alignment. That's how you escape the trap. That's how you stop being ruled by desire. And finally, start walking your own path. 7. Nothing lasts forever, and that's a gift. Everything you love will end. People. Moments, achievements, even you. That's not meant to depress you. It's meant to wake you up. Because once you accept impermanence, deeply, fully, you begin to live on purpose. The Stoics never ran from mortality. They looked it in the eye. They practiced memento mori, a daily reminder. You will die. Not someday. Not in theory. But for real. Marcus Aurelius wrote, you could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do, say, and think. Why would he dwell on death? Because when you realize time is slipping, you stop wasting it. You stop chasing things that don't matter. You stop arguing over nonsense. You stop numbing yourself with distractions. And you start showing up, fully, intentionally. Think about it. You don't get angry that a sunset ends. You watch it more closely. You don't panic when a song finishes. You listen more deeply. So why not treat life the same? Why not love harder? Listen better? Speak more truth? All because it won't last. Everything you fear losing was never truly yours to keep. It was only ever yours to experience. Your parents, your friends, your health, even your youth. These aren't possessions. They're gifts. And gifts are meant to be cherished, not clung to. Seneca said, it is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it. Look at your own life. Not with judgment, but with clarity. Where are you asleep at the wheel? What are you postponing? Who are you taking for granted? Because it all ends. And that's not the enemy. That's what makes it beautiful. Impermanence teaches urgency, not panic. Gratitude, not fear. You don't control how long you have, but you control how deeply you live while you're here. Every goodbye, every ending, every wrinkle on your face is life's way of whispering, this matters. Pay attention, so pause today. Look around, feel the breeze. Say the thing you've been holding back. Call the person you love. Let go of that grudge. Do it not because it'll last, but because it won't. And that is the very thing that makes it precious. Live like a Stoic, not in theory, but in action. You've now heard the 7 principles. Not from a textbook, not as empty wisdom, but as living truths. They weren't meant to just inspire you. They were meant to transform you. But transformation doesn't happen through watching. It happens through doing. So take a breath and ask yourself, what do I actually control? What painful truth am I still running from? What thoughts do I let dominate my mind? When did I last endure instead of react? Do I respond to life or merely flinch from it? Am I chasing noise or following a true path? Do I cherish this fleeting life or take it for granted? These are the questions that build character. And character is the only thing that truly endures. Here's the truth. You don't need a perfect morning routine. You don't need a library of Stoic books. You don't even need to call yourself a Stoic. You just need to practice, quietly, consistently, courageously, because the most powerful men you'll ever meet aren't loud, aren't flashy, aren't desperate to be seen. They're still, they're anchored, they're clear. They don't bend to the chaos of the world because they've mastered the chaos within. So now, it's your turn, not to be perfect, not to be untouchable, but to be unshakable. Let the world rage. Let others chase. You walk the quiet path, the Stoic path.